Hi, and welcome to the Thrive Alcohol-Free podcast. I'm Dryy Witherick, alcohol-free wellbeing and transformational coach, and the best-selling author of A Cocktail of Clarity, How to Ditch Drinking, Embody a Joyful New Identity, and Thrive Alcohol-Free. This podcast will show you that being alcohol-free is not what the traditional narrative says. And even though alcohol is so ingrained in our society that it is okay to give yourself permission to stop drinking if you want to. And you do not have to wait until you hit rock bottom. It is certainly not boring, and I believe ditching drinking is just the start to living an extraordinary life. By getting rid of this one thing, it allows the doors to open to endless possibilities and opportunities. Each week, we will have guests on who are at various stages of the alcohol-free journey, from those who are curious to those who have been alcohol-free for years. We will also have experts on talking about different topics relating to alcohol and beyond. Through these conversations, you will discover what it means to thrive alcohol-free. Enjoy. Hi, and welcome to the Thrive Alcohol-Free podcast. I am Dryy, your host, and I am so pleased you are here and listening. I do hope you've had a good week. And so today's episode, I have Barbara, who ditched the booze on the 7th of February, 2021. And she is so happy that her life no longer revolves around alcohol. She's chosen to have an improved relationship with herself and everyone around her. And currently, she is a coach in training with Andy Ramage's The Arete Way. And she's doing a diploma in coaching and positive psychology, which she is hoping will help her to pursue her passion in helping and supporting others to achieve their goals. And so Barbara's also a Be Sober ambassador and a Dryy app life member. And you can find her sharing her sober adventures on Instagram at sober_in_colour. So sober in colour, where she's aiming to inspire others and really inspire how a life without alcohol is fun and fulfilling. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Barbara. I hope you enjoy the episode. Hi, so welcome, Barbara. Thank you for being a guest on the Thrive Alcohol-Free podcast. How are you doing today?
Great. I'm good, thank you. It's great to be here, Dryy. Lovely to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Brilliant. Well, we're really pleased you're here. So, as always, why don't we kick off with your story? And, it'd be good to just hear how you happened to be here and, what's the background and how you're alcohol-free.
Yeah, sure. The day that I gave up alcohol was Sunday. It was the 7th of February, 2021, and it was during lockdown. And it was on the Saturday. It was a very rainy day, and I started drinking at 11 o'clock, I believe. It was in the morning. Started drinking 11 o'clock in the morning. So it's like, nothing else to do. Let's have a drink. So I started at 11 o'clock, and I sort of remember thinking, right, I'm not going to black out this time. But obviously, 11 o'clock in the morning, started to drink. And the next morning, I can remember thinking, I'm not doing that again. That's the short story of how it became alcohol-free. But leading up to that, 2021, I had many days when I thought to myself, I'm not going to black out and not remember going to bed. And the next day saying, I'm not going to drink again. Especially in my 30s and my 40s, that's how my drinking was. One drink was never enough. I would always drink to get drunk, really. And moderating was not I did try moderation, like all sorts of different scenarios of moderating in, I don't know, like I'm not drinking anything but champagne. And then
Wonderful.
I know, not drinking, but that didn't last very long. I switched from white wine to Prosecco, thinking, the glasses are smaller, I wouldn't drink as much. there's that scenario. But yeah, like I say, I didn't really start drinking until I didn't do the sitting on the park bench and drinking, that sort of drinking. I was more of a raver, so alcohol was not my drug of choice in the 90s. So in the 90s, I was in my 20s. So my 20s were more raving and clubbing. And then it was and I've heard quite a few people mention this, I think you might have mentioned in your stories, the whole ladettes side of things and Sex and the City, having a cosmopolitan, and in my 30s going out for dinner, being sophisticated with a glass of wine. You know, it started off with having a glass of wine with dinner, going out for dinner, and then gradually snowballed into drinking at home, drinking on my own, drinking when I was happy, drinking when I was sad, just drinking every occasion. I mean, there's not really one like family occasion, wedding, funeral, christening that I can think of from my 30s onward that I was sober. That I was sober at. I was the drunk cousin, the drunk auntie, I was always the drunk one, the drunk sister. I've got 4 sisters, you see. So out of the 5 of us, I am the one who was the drunk one. So yeah, I kind of felt, now looking back on it, I felt not that I wasn't unhappy at the time, but looking back, I feel that I was unhappy and trying to fit in. I think I was unhappy and trying to fit in that everyone else was doing it. It wasn't something that everyone else was drinking, I mean, but not getting to the extent that I was getting drunk at. Yeah, I think alcohol, gave me that confidence to speak to people when I was out. And it also gave me an excuse not to speak to people as well. You know, being at the bar, talking to the barman, not talking to the people that I'm supposed to be, you know, having a meal with or out with. So it's kind of, became a bit of a, when I look back, a good friend to me, yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's really common, isn't it? Where you say that it was to fit in. And I also find it interesting that you were, in a way, escaping from the people you were with as well. So maybe expand on that a little bit in terms of, had that always been the reason, do you think, you were drinking, because of the fitting in, or and how's your friendship group changed as well? Because if you were escaping from the people to talk to people in, the first part of the bar.
Yeah, and that probably didn't come out as, I was, just say I went out with a group of friends. It's not that I was escaping. I was just always wanting to find, someone to talk to. I was here, there, and everywhere. Like now, when I go out, I'm with the people that I stay with, the people that I talk. I'm not it doesn't seem like I just seem to remember just wanting to be everywhere.
Right.
Just like, I don't know, just talk to random strangers for. It's a bit like going on holiday. When I was drinking on holiday, I met people and would talk to them through drinking. But now going on sober holidays, I very rarely meet people. But it's not because of not wanting to. It's I'm happy with my own company or the company that I'm with,
Yeah, that's really interesting. Really interesting. Well, there's loads to talk about there. I was thinking sober holidays, because that's something that, a lot of people who maybe are on their early, just stop drinking potentially, are probably thinking, how do I get through that sort of alcohol free first? And a holiday is always one that's an interesting one. So what are your thoughts on sort of sober holidays? Let's go down that route.
Oh, I literally cannot express how happy I was on my first sober holiday. It's funny, but there's lots of times where I look back on when I did my first sober holiday, I look back on when I was drinking and compare the two. And I didn't realise when I was drinking what I was feeling, what I was doing at the time. Looking back on it, I can see that when I go to the check-in, I'm actually really looking forward to getting through security to get to the bar. And at the bar, trying to drink or get served and drink as much alcohol. It's weird, isn't it? Just why would you want to drink so much alcohol before you get on the flight? And then I'm talking about a flight holiday, going abroad. But I've been on holidays in England as well, which have been just as more exciting and enjoyable than when I was sober. But when I'm talking about a flight holiday, so then you've gone through security, you're at the bar, you're having a few drinks, waiting for the flight to be called up, then you go, then you've had your few drinks, and then you're waiting. There's more waiting, and the waiting is not relaxed waiting. You're waiting, you cannot wait to sit down for the flight to take off and for there's someone to come round and then give you the next drink. I could not wait. It's like, let me get in row 1 to 4, so I'm sitting at the front, so I get served sooner. And then you're waiting, and there's more waiting, and it's sober holidays are relaxing, and that part of the journey is relaxing. You're not rushing to the next stage, to the next stage, to the next stage, just going with the flow. It's so relaxing. I could not believe how relaxing it was the first time I did it. And I was looking forward to coming home to do it again. And do it again. I have been on a few sober holidays with a flight involved. And like I mentioned before, even at the England holidays, going to Norfolk with a family holiday, it's just, time is not wishing away for, let's get to lunch so we can have a drink at lunch, and then having a little snooze in the afternoon instead of, I don't know, going for a walk or just enjoying each other's company, reading, just doing something, and then waiting for the evening or drinking all afternoon. There's no thoughts of drinking. There's no thoughts of, there's food. Food was always a thing that I'd done on holidays. Should we have a snack? If we're walking along a promenade at any time of the day, should we have a snack? But what that really means is, should we have a drink?
It's amazing how much. Sorry, go on.
I would just say that, it's just so much more relaxing without the thoughts of having an alcoholic drink in the mix.
It is amazing how much time is spent thinking about drinking or wanting to drink or wondering when the next one's coming, and you don't even realize it at the time. You don't think it's even a thing, but you're right, it does become all consuming, doesn't it? And
it really does. And it's freeing when it's not in the mix any longer. It's just completely freeing.
Absolutely. And actually you realize what holidays are about, walking on the beach and seeing the sunset or the sunrise, and getting up at sort of 6 and having that early morning walk stroll, and then actually seeing that there are other people that are out as well, and you think, oh my goodness, I don't think I've ever seen this time when I'm on holiday. And it's amazing, it's quiet, it's just stunning, and lots of things that you probably wouldn't appreciate before. So okay, so you it was a very much drinking was the norm for you from the sounds of it. It was just something that you did, and that was part of your life. And as you said, like a lot of people, it was when you're happy, when you're sad, when you're celebrating, when you're commiserating, that's what you do. And so you said that Saturday night before you decided to stop, had you been thinking about stopping for a while?
Oh, that's good question. So I had done, did I do no, so I did do, or try, I tried. I tried Dry January. I started on the 4th, Dupay, and finished on the 10th. So I did 6 days.
That's a good stint.
There was Bailey's left there was leftovers from New Year to finish and someone's birthday, so I did not do that Dry January. So that was actually 2021. So I had been thinking about it, and prior to that I did do, and I don't think it was that year, it must have been the year before, I did do not Sober October like everybody else does. I did November for charity. So I sent out a link to everybody. I'm not drinking alcohol for a month. Would you like to sponsor me? And I did do the month. But I don't think I would have been able to do it without people sponsoring me. The fact that people have put money into this pot for charity, that had spurred me on to do it. And actually, after that month, my husband and I, we went to Manchester. I was on week 7. And I got ready to go out for the night. And I was debating with myself, shall I have a drink tonight? Shall I not have a drink tonight? I think it might have been my first social occasion. I think I kept myself in. And I hadn't done any of the work. I was just, just doing my life, keeping myself, well, not my life, but keeping myself to myself and just doing the no drinking. And yeah, we went to Manchester, went out for a meal, and I ordered a glass of wine. And it sat there. I think I ate my dinner. I sat there a little while before I actually drank it. And the next thing I remembered, I woke up with my shoes on in bed. So I did drink that night. Yeah, so I had thought about not drinking before that date. So those 2 stints at giving up were, I suppose, the runway towards me becoming sober. And then within that time, I did start listening to a podcast because I listened to true crime podcasts, and that's all I listen to. True crime, can't even say it, podcasts. And I thought, I wonder if there's a podcast on being sober. So I did find a lady, and I listened to her for quite a while. She's in the States. She was American. And I thought, no, and some of the things she would mention was quite American-centric, I think, like meetups and things like this. So I thought, right, I'll find somebody else. I listened to her for quite some time. So I searched for somebody in a podcast based in the UK, and that's when I found the Be Sober podcast. And so I binged, and Alex and Lisa, who are Be Sober founders and are on the podcast, they made me feel like being sober can be fun. Being sober is normal. I mean, they just constantly laugh in their podcast. And so, yeah, I binged, I don't know, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 maybe seasons. So I binged those. And then rang Lisa. I rang them. Did I email? I think I might have emailed them and had a chat with Alex. But where was that in my? I don't know where. I think I stopped drinking on the 7th of February, and I think it might have been about the June or July when I phoned. So I've been not drinking for a little while, and that's when I thought. And I looked at their website and everything, and been on Instagram as well, looking at different sober accounts. And so with Be Sober, I then thought, when I was talking to Alex, so I became rather than becoming a member, which I would have done anyway, I became an ambassador for Sheffield and Rotherham. So so I'm not from Sheffield, so I didn't have much of a like friends network, if you like. And so I kind of killed 2 birds with one stone and thought, right, I will try and meet people, like-minded people, get people together, do some things that I like to do. And yeah, I started to put events on, brunches on, in the Sheffield and Rotherham area. I've even done a Sober by the Sea. So we did do a group. There's quite a few of us now. I mean, we've been away together. We go do brunches, lunches in and out of the Be Sober community. So we've got each other as well. So they go on comedy club. A few of the people that have got together within the Be Sober of Sheffield then go out and they do their own thing outside of Be Sober. So that I love that part. I love seeing people who have met each other for the first time just chat to each other for ages. I absolutely love that. Yeah, so we've done walks together. We did a sunset walk the other week. That was fantastic. That was really good. Sunrise, sorry. So I set my alarm at 4:30.
Wow.
Lisa came, actually. She was from she comes in from the Manchester side, so she set her alarm at 4:30. Yeah, and there was about 12 of us.
Oh, how amazing.
It was amazing. We didn't see the sunrise. It was a bit misty, but we did. It peeked through halfway through when we did a walk afterwards. So yeah. So that's how I became a Be Sober ambassador, and have met a lot of people in and around Sheffield and Manchester area. All the Be Sober people. We went camping. I went camping this year for the first time ever in my life. So I did a weekend camping. That was fun. Was that this year or last year? Yeah, that was this year. Yeah, that was in June.
Amazing.
Yeah, so that was great. So yeah, I do thank Be Sober a lot for my sobriety. I don't know if I would have done it then without listening to Be Sober. So I am very thankful to Lisa and Alex and their podcast.
Amazing. And how was your first camping experience?
It was freezing at Dryy. It's so cold at night. I wasn't prepared. I'm not a camper. I didn't have all the equipment that I should have had. My sleeping. No, but apart from that, the whole the weekend was fun. It was fantastic, actually. Yeah, it was really, like, I don't know, exhilarating. Just meeting new people, all the people that I've met online in the Be Sober community as well. Sober Dave was there. He gave us talks. I met him, and William Porter, he was there. So it was great. Yeah, loads of fantastic, inspirational people within the Be Sober community as well that I've really been looking forward to meeting. So it was great. And there was also, we did river swimming. Some people did. Oh, we did drumming, which I loved. Have you ever done that? Yeah, drumming was it was so emotional. We've got 20 people in a room who have never drummed before.
Yeah.
And we created a sound that sounded amazing. Wow. Just from this woman telling us to, feel the rhythm, feel the beat. It was just really good, really emotional. That was great. There's loads of different activities going on. You could do them or you couldn't do them. You didn't have to do them. Yeah. It was really, really a really good weekend. And they're doing the same next year. One up north and one down south next year.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And I think, what it really shows is how community just completely changes your whole mindset, because you talked earlier about the first time you did it in November, you didn't do the work. And so what did you mean by the work?
Yeah, the work is, for me, well, initially the podcast, reading. And I keep saying this, but I'm going to not say it anymore. I used to say that I'm not a reader, but I am a reader now. I am a reader. So, yeah, I read books, quick lit books. And, yeah, I got to... What else? Looking after yourself. When you're drinking, I don't know. Yeah, when I was drinking, even though I felt like I was looking after myself, you feel, for some reason, why would I think I'm throwing poison down my neck was looking after myself for starters? But yeah, I don't know why I look confused. And when I think about it, I feel confused. Why would I think I was looking after myself? And appreciating things, just appreciating people, things, doing the work. What else? I've always exercised. Exercise usually when I was drinking, it was to sweat out the alcohol or to sweat out these calories from alcohol. It was all about the calories and maybe trying to lose weight. But now it's not about that for me. It's more about how it makes me feel.
Yeah.
And I know that I like it, and it's not, and I enjoy it. It's not to do it for anybody else or anyone else. I'm doing it for me. So that's for me, that's my self-care. I like to either walk, do a workout. That is, and community as well. Like having a community, being a part of a community, whether it's online or face to face, either or. I think being part of a community is that connection is really important.
Yeah, so true, so true.
Oh, I must tell you, my number one thing, actually, which I'd say to anybody, is sleeping. How about catching up on the sleep that I've been missing all that time? I used to go to bed really early with a podcast or with a book.
Yeah.
And this is February, so it was dark early, so it would just get all really cozy and just really enjoy my sleeping. Yeah.
It's amazing how much sleep you get and how, the sleep quality improves as well. That deep REM sleep that you don't realize you're not getting. You're not going through the cycles that you should be going through. And so it's incredible when you can go. I mean, I don't know if you found it, but just in case someone's listening, you might not sleep straight away. It can be a bit of a rough ride, and that's really your body recalibrating, and so your sleep might not be amazing from the start, or you might go through a couple of months of not great sleep, but you will absolutely equal out, because I get asked that a lot about sleep. So but after a while it's just amazing. It's sleep of the just, isn't it? It's fantastic.
And I could have so the other night I went to bed at about, so this is a night when we had the storm, so it was Friday, it would have been Friday morning. I was awake from 3:30. I might have had probably 5 hours sleep, 5 hours sleep, and I was awake from 3:30 till the next evening. But that sleep that I had was not interrupted sleep. It was a proper quality, like you mentioned, a quality sleep.
Yeah, it makes such a difference. It really does. Cool. So obviously you've been doing loads then since you finished, in terms of the Be Sober ambassador, and you have an amazing Instagram page as well, which you are prolific on. And I love your I love your videos and the lives that you do. But you're called Sober in Colour. So I've always been curious as to why you named yourself Sober in Colour. Tell me why you did that, or what the reason is behind Sober in Colour. Yeah.
Thanks, Jupe. I think it's obvious, first of all, that I am a Black woman, so a woman of colour. So I think people would think that that's why I am called Sober in Colour, but it does have a double meaning for me.
Yeah.
It's like, when I was drinking, compared to now being sober, it's like watching Wizard of Oz in black and white, and then everything turns to colour. That's why I'm called Sober in Colour on Instagram.
I love that. And I've just had that image, and it absolutely is. You don't actually realise you're walking around in this sort of dulled out version or greyed out version of your life. And then all of a sudden it's like the lights come on, don't they? And you can see just everyday things that you probably weren't even paying attention to just seem brighter. Everything seems better, and you notice those little things, and that really gives you joy. And I think the whole numbing of emotions is the reason, right? Because we use alcohol to numb our negative emotions, and we think it's going to get rid of our stress and our anxiety and our grief and everything else. But what we don't realize is it's numbing all emotions. So you're not really feeling the joy or the happiness to the extent that you could be feeling, because you're effectively on this level, which is just a sort of one track grayish level. And again, it's just something you don't appreciate. So I love that. Sober in Colour. I love that. Brilliant.
Thank you. Just while you mentioned that, I just thought of something else what I used to say when I was drinking, that I didn't get hangovers. I didn't get anxiety. It was only when I stopped drinking I realised that I was almost in a constant hangover. I didn't, and sometimes I would be anxious without knowing that I was anxious. And now when I do those, I'll give you an example. So I went to a meeting a work meeting in London, and going to the train, getting the train, changing train stations and parking the car, all that just seems like a massive thing to do. But now when I do it when I'm sober, it's a very calmer thing to do. It doesn't seem a big thing. I don't feel those feelings of I call them het up. So I get really like tense in my chest and like the heat rising up through your neck and into your shoulders. I don't feel that any longer. And the hangovers where I would get up in the morning and go for a walk, not every day, but probably through, like I say, all black and white. There was no appreciating the seasons changing, appreciating, I don't know, next door neighbour's got a new plant in their garden, things like that. You know, you notice more, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. So no, it's definitely encourage you to check out at Sober in Colour if you get a chance. And then the other thing that you've got on and done, tell us about the other thing that you're doing in terms of helping others potentially.
Are you talking about, I don't know what you're talking about.
Coaching. You're
coaching. Oh, yes, I am talking about. So yes, I am loving coaching. I am currently halfway through Andy Ramage's Arete Way coaching course. My first essay is due in on Monday.
No pressure.
No pressure, yeah. And I do have pro bono clients, which I absolutely love. Like you say, it's helping people through sobriety, but not just sobriety. It's like helping somebody. So one of my clients, obviously I'm not going to tell you details, but one of my clients she is sober, but she wants help to help her with her next stage of what she wants to do. So it's not just about helping someone to be sober, coaching. And like you say, it's helping someone. I love that. I love that side of coaching. But yeah, I'm really enjoying doing that. So I did do the Be Sober sobriety diploma. So I did do that earlier on this year. But I felt like I just wanted a little bit more to give me a bit more confidence to go out and become a coach. So that's why I'm doing the Arete Way coaching in diploma in positive psychology and coaching.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's great. Yeah, thanks for mentioning that. Yeah, I thought the other thing that I like that I am part of, I'm a life member with the Dryy app. So I wasn't sure whether you were talking about that, you see. So yeah, I know there's a Be Sober community. There's lots of sober communities, and I am proud to be a Be Sober ambassador and a life member with the Dryy app. I just think that if any community you can join to be sober, just join one, because they are all really helpful.
Brilliant. So as a life member, what does that mean?
Yeah, so I think there are about 30 life members in the app. There may be more. And so within the app, there are support groups. There are lives. Andy Ramage, he does a live every morning, I think. And Matt Pink, Better Life guy, he's in there. He does lives as well. And with Crystal Day, they're the head coach of the Dryy app. They then also put together courses within the app. So the app's free, but you can pay to do a Dryy September, Dryy October, Dryy November, and so on, different courses within there. But the life members, we will put on different events as well. There's an events page in the Dryy app for meetups, and Andy, Matt, and Crystal, they go to meetups as well. Yeah, there's loads going on in the community there as well. Yeah, lots going on.
Yeah, it sounds like it's just all about community, isn't it? I think if there's a takeaway from this episode, it's really join a community. If you're early days or if you're curious and you want to find out more, join a community. I think that's definitely the takeaway. Okay, so I mean, it sounds like it's nearly 3 years of you not drinking, and you have gone on a huge journey from where you were to now. So what would you say have been the sort of what are the 3 tips that you would give to someone who's really at the beginning of the journey, other than community?
Yeah, 3 tips. And I think I've sold the sleep thing as well, going to bed early. I think trust yourself and lean into it. Like, do as much of the reading and podcasting as you can. And I did not do the work at first, and when I gave up on the 7th of February, that might not have been my last. I might have had a drink since then. Luckily I haven't, but sticking to it, and having faith in yourself and trusting yourself certainly is, I think, one thing. I think being consistent with yourself, what is working for you, do more of that to help you stay sober and be consistent. What else? Not community. I'm not allowed to say community.
Or you can if you want, it's fine.
Let me think of something else. No, let me think of movement. I do think movement. And when I say movement, I don't mean, not necessarily, it doesn't have to be, I don't know, going to run a marathon like you did, Dupé. I know you did that. It doesn't mean that, but it just means, for me, my drinking was sat in front of the sofa watching TV. If I sat in front of the sofa and did not drink on day 1, day 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe by day 10, I would have had a drink, because I'm not doing anything else. I'm not moving. I'm doing the same thing. So when I mean movement, it's like moving from one place to another, moving your mind from one place to another, moving, just moving, not staying in the same. Nothing changes without change.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I love that.
Was that 3? Did I get
that was 3? Yeah. Trust yourself, be consistent, and move.
Yes.
So brilliant.
Yes.
Thank you. So as we end with a lot of all of the podcasts so far, I have to ask the one question: what does thriving alcohol-free mean to you, Barbara?
I did wonder if you were going to ask me this, Dupé. So I think, no, I don't think. For me, it means being authentic with myself, knowing myself, trusting myself, doing what I want to do when I want to do it. That's, that I would say yes to things quite I see you nodding. Yeah. I'd say things regularly that I didn't say yes to, things that I really didn't want to do, and I'm quite good at not doing that any longer. And I'm more about not that I like obviously helping people. It's not that it's just about me, but of course, if I'm not happy in myself, how can I help someone else? So it is about me being authentic with myself to be able to help other people.
Brilliant. And I'm hoping that this is going to resonate with somebody today, because it's just such an amazing story. You have gone through a journey and you've come out the other side, and you now want to help people, and you're an ambassador here, you're a life member there, you're becoming a coach, and you're just sharing the message, which is fantastic. So well done.
Thank you, Dupé. Just I would like to, I never thought I would be 3 years sober. I mean, looking back, ask me this in 2020, you're going to be sober in 2024 for 3 years, I would not have believed you, honestly. And probably everyone around me would not have thought, no, there's absolutely no way Barbara will be sober, absolutely no way. And here I am, sober in colour.
Amazing. So how can people get in touch with you?
I'm on Instagram as @soberincolor. I will be putting any links in there. I've got Linktree. I'm on the Be Sober website as well. You can find me there, and in the Dryy app, I'm in there too.
Fantastic. So any final thoughts you want to leave with the person listening?
If you are tinkering on the edge, just go for it and trust in yourself. Just go for it.
Fantastic. Go for it. Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for being a guest on the Thrive Alcohol Free podcast. Really appreciate you, Barbara, and all you do. And I'm just excited to see what happens next. So thank you.
Thank you so much for having me, Dryy. Thank you.
Take care.
You too. Bye.
Well, thank you, Barbara. That was such a great conversation, and really appreciate you being on the podcast. If you take one thing away, community is key. So, if you are doing this on your own at the moment, or you're curious and you're thinking, what do I do next? Find a community. There's bound to be one that you resonate with people that you like, and join the community. It's really important to not do this journey alone. And you'll be inspired. You'll find people at different stages who will inspire you along the way, and then you'll become the inspiration for someone else. So community is absolutely key. And I love the 3 tips as well that Barbara talked about, which were to trust yourself and lean into it. Read the books, listen to the podcast. You can find my book, A Cocktail of Clarity: How to Ditch Drinking, Embody a Joyful New Identity, and Thrive Alcohol Free. It's available on Amazon. I also give away the first chapter of the book in both PDF and audio, so you can listen to the first chapter, which isn't just the first chapter. It's why I wrote the book, why you should read the book. It includes my story, and then it goes into chapter 1, and the chapter 1 is, are you being served? So feel free to go and download that for free. Her next tip was being consistent with what it is that's working for you. So once you find the things that work for you, just be consistent in doing them on a daily basis, or as often as you need to. And the third thing she mentioned was movement. So I really hope that this episode inspired you to maybe take a step towards taking a break from alcohol, or if you are early in your journey, hopefully inspired you to do some things that you may not have been doing before. So thank you, Barbara, and feel free to get in touch with Barbara on Instagram on @sober_in_colour. Well, I do hope that you enjoyed the episode, and you have a really good week, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Take care of yourself. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to the Thrive Alcohol Free podcast. If you enjoyed the episode, please subscribe so you get alerted every time I drop a new episode. I'd love it if you could rate, review, and share this episode. Feel free to tag me on Instagram @Thrive Alcohol Free and follow me for daily tips. If you would like to work with me, I offer one-to-one coaching sessions and have my signature Thrive Alcohol Free Society group coaching program. If you're not yet ready for coaching, I also have a self-paced online course, which is a companion to my book, A Cocktail of Clarity. All the links are in the show notes. I will see you in the next episode. Have a wonderful week. Take care.